Whenever I think about the story, it kind of like chokes me up. Sorry, 1 second. My bad. Oh, story time. Gotta love stories. As a zookeeper and wildlife educator, I always get questions about like, what's my favorite zoo experience? What's my favorite animal? All these different questions. And one of the most recent questions I got was, what was my most memorable experience in the zoo? I'd probably have to say it was the time when I was working at a zoo with hippos. If you couldn't tell, I'm Black, and there's not many Black zookeepers. That's the number one thing I want to point out. There's not many keepers of color that work in this field, right? And I was just walking around, just doing my job, walked by the hippo exhibit where I used to work, and this kid looked very similar to me, really young kid, about 7 years old, maybe 6, 7 years old. And he was like, he seemed so excited to be like, to just be looking at these hippos. Super pumped, super just amazed by like how cool they were, talking to strangers and about the animals. Like, oh, did you know hippos can do this and that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wow, this kid is just like I was as a kid. Like, I used to do that. My grandma always tells me stories about how I was a little 5-year-old talking to strangers at the zoo, just talking to these random people about hippos. It's kind of cool, right? And I just got done feeding the hippo, so I think he was watching that, and he ran over to me. He was like, hey, are you the hippo keeper? Are you the hippo zookeeper? Do you work with the hippos? I was like, yeah. I was talking to him about the hippos a little bit. And then he literally said this, that it gets me a little emotional when I think about it, because I was like, it was a first for me. He said, wow, I want to be just like you. I want to be a, a zookeeper just like you. I said, and sorry, give me a second. Whenever I think about the story, it kind of like chokes me up, because so that kid just was so pumped and so animated that sorry, 1 second. My bad. He was actually the reason for why I started calling myself Jungle Jordan and made a social media presence and everything, because I was like, before that I kept getting like weird interactions with people and guests and that didn't think that I was a zookeeper. People would see me walking around the zoo and just assume I was like a person that took out the trash and stuff like that. Like, no offense to grounds or to custodial people, but they would kind of demean my education and experience, all these different things. And again, custodians and stuff go to college and stuff. I'm just not saying anything. This is awful. This makes me feel like I'm making jokes about custodians. I'm not. People would make derogatory statements towards me in the zoos, guests, even volunteers. I would get weird looks, and so this kid to actually look like me and not look at me like I didn't belong was something very important for me, and is the reason why I do what I do. So that's my most memorable experience in the zoo world. To prevent myself from crying, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video now. Thank you for coming here with me to watch this little video and listen to one of my stories. And I got more for you guys coming soon.